To take the discussion on digital smart campus for digitally native students and faculty a notch higher, we have industry presentation on digital smart campus, the Dell Technologies unique approach by Mr. Venkat Sitaram, General Manager and India Leader, Education, Dell Technologies. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. It's my honor to be here today to talk to you about the future of campus. This is a very, very interesting topic, particularly at a time when everything is changing very fast in the industry. And when you think about two industries that come to top of my mind who are fostering this change or who are trying to adapt to this change very fast. Number one, education, followed by healthcare. I have the privilege of running the education and healthcare business. I lead this for the country. I'm based out of Bangalore. I look forward in the next 15 minutes talking to you about Dell's point of view on the future of campus. We believe the future of campus is going to be digital. This is something known to everyone. Why this is so? I think thanks to the rise in millennial population, expectations of students are changing drastically. I think students more and more want to live in a highly collaborative and highly immersive experience world. No doubt, students are highly digital native and tech savvy. Faculties have become highly digital native of late. We've seen significant knowledge base generating out of a lot of faculties, and kudos to all those faculties who have quickly adapted to this digital platforms in delivering quality education for students. Now, let me quickly get into this topic on why do we what is digital smart campus and what's our unique approach and how is Dell positioned to help you in this journey of building a digital smart campus. First thing first, this is something that I talk to all the academicians today whenever I get an opportunity and ask them, do you imagine a campus which is ready for future? In short, it's a campus of tomorrow. Because the campus of today is not geared up to meet the requirements of the future. Therefore, the first and foremost starting point is to imagine a campus of tomorrow. And when you think about a campus of tomorrow, the fulcrum or the center point or the pivotal there is about the student expectation. As a student, the student has a lot of expectations about the campus. First and foremost, last 2 years, since most of the students have got used to learn from anywhere, they're looking at, do I get the same experience as maybe being at home and learn when I come to the campus, which wasn't the case earlier. Look at how things have changed in just 2 years. And the question that more than often I keep hearing that most of the institutional heads have been sharing with us is the campus safe? Can I send my children to the campus? Will there be safety? What kind of precautions are you taking and how hygiene it is and so on and so forth? That's becoming a very, very important one. Earlier, hygiene and all that used to be maybe number 2, number 3 in priority. Today, that has become number 1. Do I feel safe within the campus? Do I find more efficiency within the campus? Is that something that will operate more efficiently? Do I see an environment where I can collaborate with all the other students in the campus? And is there a space for creating ideas? And in order to do that, the one thing that comes to your mind is about connectivity. Connectivity becomes the pivotal. Now, when you think about this digital campus, I would say 3 things that come to my mind. First, it's about capacity. Second, connectivity. And third, and the most important, not the last, but security. These 3 becomes important as a part of journey in building a digital campus. Now, let me talk to you about these 3 things one by one. To begin with, if you were to imagine a digital campus and the impact that brings into your institution, I think you got to picture this slide in short. It is about fundamentally laying the foundation for a future campus by thinking about building a mobile network. And then look at those important elements that you want this network to connect with. And when you go and double click on those important elements, you would realize right from your classroom to the various transportational needs that you have built, to the security within the premises, to the most important student faculty records, to the learning content or the content delivery to your library and other systems within the campus, to all the communication systems, last but not the least, the emergency infrastructure that is being built within the campus. Are they all connected? Can they talk to each other on a real-time basis? That is something that becomes the foundation. Many a times, if these are silos or disjointed systems, the ability to take inputs out of the data that is getting generated across all these silos becomes a huge challenge. And therefore, the fundamental starting point is about creating a network. And as you can see, something that can easily connect, something that can expand your internet footprint across, something that can be very, very cost efficient. It connects all the building blocks, and it is something that you can easily deploy. And finally, look at improving efficiency. So this becomes the fundamental starting point. Now, when you think about mobile network, what comes to your mind? First and foremost is the private LTE. Now, I'm not going to go into details of explaining what the private LTE is, because that's not our core area. In fact, we work with a lot of today existing partners who provide a private LTE network. So fundamentally, we all know the advantages that the private LTE brings into the table is for speed and throughput. When you imagine connecting all these building blocks together and data is flowing across, and you're wanting to take real-time analytics, visualization, and decisions, you will need to ensure fundamentally you have that performance built in, and that's about the speed and throughput. So look at number of devices that you want to connect. Data exchange rates becomes important. So the LTE provider will be able to guide in terms of what kind of throughput expectations that you need to look at, and what connectivity recommendations thereafter come in with. The fundamental objective of this is to enable mobility. And also, when I say mobility, it is not just within the campus, it is also outside the campus. Therefore, ability to build more wide area virtual networks, because learning happens anywhere and everywhere, not just in the campus. That's the future of education, right? And we all know that. When you do that and data starts flowing in from within the campus to outside the campus, the paramount importance that comes in is security. So do I have put robust systems which are like military grade security, so that I'm able to protect sensitive student data, and of course the education institution data in itself, and all the authentication and governance and risk systems in place. Last but not the least, the experience of a fast lane Wi-Fi when within the campus becomes super important, because that will foster collaboration, that will allow ideation, innovation, and allow students to have call it a team discussion, etc., in a common forum. So technology is definitely seen as a huge enabler here. So the starting point is a private LTE network which allows all of this and an efficient operation. Subsequently, the other two elements, I talked about security as well, and now comes capacity. Now, how do I do this? Now, the demand scenarios that we have seen, particularly in higher education, comes out of 3 or 4 things broadly. First come first is the content, is the curriculum digitally deliverable? I think today that is the important need. Most of the contents that I see are today available on demand. So that allows students to access the content anywhere, even if within the classroom or outside the classroom. So it becomes a call it easy guide that is available for students that for anytime access, anytime learning. And to access the content, need a device, a highly mobile device, therefore, and can work with broad spectrum of WAN coverage models that you have. So that is the second most important in terms of a robust device, right configuration. Through the session, you will hear a couple of my colleagues coming and talking to you about what we are specifically doing in this space. Some of the devices which we have customized for student and faculty needs, we will be sharing more inputs on that. Lastly, all the application environment and the access systems, can they interact on a real-time basis? It is like Internet of Things. Now, I talked about Internet everywhere. This is Internet of Things. Have I put this in place? Last but not the least, most of the institutions today talk about multi-building, multi-site, multi-location operations, etc. So private LTE definitely will facilitate to connect all so that you are able to take real-time decisions across your campuses, no matter where, wherever in country, outside the country, and so on and so forth. So these are the fundamental steps that we will like institutions today to draw attention. Have they made these changes? Have they looked at modernizing capability, capacity, connectivity, and looked at security? These becomes essential. And if I were to summarize what ingredients go in terms of building a campus for future, digital campus for future, I think it is about digitally enabled smart campuses, fostering research, and of course, which enables data-driven insights. So things like use of AI for youth. That's a flagship program today that we drive to enable students to access AI and institutions to access AI. And there are several use cases of AI, so I'm not going to go into detail of this. And last but not the least, build that immersive experiences, which becomes a differentiator. There are quite a few next-gen immersive experiences technologies that are coming up. Am I bringing that in place to have altogether a unique experience in the campus? This will be a differentiator for institutions for tomorrow. This will also become a compelling reason for attracting talent. This will also become a compelling reason for attracting even industry partnership. Therefore, future of campus is clearly a digital campus. Now, having understood in the first section what is the future of digital campus, now the thought comes, how do I realize this vision? Whom do I approach? And how could I go about doing this? That's where Dell Technologies comes in as a value-added partner in helping you realize this vision. How do we see it? We see it as systems of systems. It's about intelligent systems of systems that helps build this vision of a future campus. It starts with the foundation of building a future campus. I talked about this. Put the building blocks together of connectivity, capability, security in place. Look at the rest of the ecosystems within the campus. Build a control command center. Start integrating surveillance. Start integrating your waste management system, transportation, building, everything. So you are able to see this end to end. This becomes a foundation. And like I talked about systems of systems, what do I mean? If a digital campus is built, this digital campus becomes the foundation thereafter to a digital city subsequently in building efficient citizen services and delivering real-time citizen services, last but not the least, to a digital state in becoming more self-efficient in terms of sustainability and so on and so forth. I think, therefore, this is intelligent system of systems. It's a building block that we looked at. When building a digital campus, you should also remember that you are adding value to building a digital city. That's a foundation to build a digital city. And then eventually there is a transformation across the state. So the core here is absolutely digital. And you can see all the ingredients there, right from student admin to student record to the campus records to everything. Surveillance, safety, traffic, emergency, health, grid, waste management, social services, everything getting integrated. This is the power of technology. And of course, it makes them all the more responsive, more intelligent, helps real-time decision making. And of course, with that comes efficiency. It drives up supreme efficiency. So in this journey, it's a journey. It can't be done overnight. Therefore, how do I get started today? It is important to understand where we are in an as-is state. Here is where it is important for a consulting partner like Dell Technologies to come in and help guide you. Where is the starting point? What legacy systems that you have deployed? What greenfield systems are you using? How can we make them more modern and something that can scale for future? And then look at the outcomes, priorities that you would have drawn. What is the priority that you look at? Either a campus safety or immersive experience, or it is about sustainability and so on and so forth. And looking at different approaches, what kind of vertical solutions or horizontal platforms that will be required, and in doing so, keeping a view, an eye on your budget. When I mean this, there are different operating models. Either it can be done on a CapEx model or in an operating model, we call it as an OpEx. lease or pay-per-use. There are many ways of offering these ingredients end to end, and then define an ideal, call it as an end state by when what we want to do. Our recommendation will be start small, but look at scale. It's important to start small, but also important to not to compromise on looking at scale. So one partner who can help you look at all these four things together, help you get started small, and then eventually looking at scale, right from infrastructure to connectivity to security to the rest of the ecosystem that is available, will be Dell Technologies in my mind, no doubt that our experts are well experienced and have a lot of use cases to talk about, having done a similar work in many other cities, many other institutions, not just in India but even global. So therefore, where do we begin with? How do I get started? It's about what specific problem that we will want to solve today. It is to look at what immediate benefits that we would want students and staff members to avail at the campus, or looking at, as I said, the sustainability elements, or managing safety, or looking at what kind of foundation do I lay for running some of my future projects. It could be a variety of all of this. And here is where it is important to work with your technology partner who will help you guide on where to get started, how, and what kind of results, what kind of efficiency outcomes that you're looking at by preparing a blueprint which is as is to an end state journey. So way forward for a smarter campus, I think it is fair to say that start with the right foundation, though it could be a few pieces, but these pieces should be able to seamlessly integrate with each other, which will in turn create a strong digital footprint. I want to tell you that Dell Technologies, along with the partner ecosystem that we have built in, we have the right subject matter expertise to make this journey or with this vision happen real. So we start with all of these building blocks, right from the administration to the campus services to the research to the classrooms to the rest of the emergency, medical assistance, traffic, sustainability, which I mentioned, to student services. Looking at all of this, we kind of help build a blueprint and pin down the underlying infrastructure tools that are required to get these pieces together and deploy them and help them running either in a one-time acquisition cost or in an operating model. So therefore, with no doubt, I want to share with you that this has been the forefront of our vision. We've been looking at higher education institutions like you on how do we help you foster this change and innovation at a rapid pace, and we believe that's a differentiator that we bring to the table. How are we doing that? We broadly building our focus into these three areas, as you can see that is outlined in this chart here. We begin with student and institutional focus first, and then take next step to the learning environment. How can we make it more engaging? Last but not the least, not forget the research, because the amount of data that is getting generated requires a lot of research, and the curriculum and the I would say this collaboration and real time thinking of innovation is creating a need for high performance computing. A lot of other references that we can talk about in that area, and how we are helping our customers to leverage this. So it's about looking at this comprehensively end to end. At the same time, keeping a very close eye on your current IT infrastructure. Do you have modern platforms? How can we help you upgrade to a model platforms? And then finally, tie it down together with military grade security by bringing in the best of breed security practices and security solutions within the Dell technology. Dell Technologies, as you understand, and how are we able to put this is to a broadest set of portfolio that we have in delivering a experience of a digital campus today. It's about these 9 technology companies coming together and building a very comprehensive, compelling end-to-end portfolio that is allowing us to help customers in realizing the journey of the future campus that they would have never imagined before. So look, let's begin this journey. We are here together. Me and my team will be happy to come and have an engaging conversation, share more insights specifically on some of these building blocks that I've talked, and let you know where you are currently and help you realize the vision of what is your ideal state. And remember, it's always about start small, but keep an eye on how do I scale this though I'm starting small? Future of campus, it is digital. Technology is a huge enabler, and that is going to be a differentiator for the future. And that's going to be a differentiator. That's going to be a competitive edge for a lot of institutions. And we see this as a great opportunity ahead of us. And I hope I've been able to give you a broad perspective on how one could imagine a digital campus and what's the role that Dell Technologies is playing in this space to help customers. Thank you for being patient through this session. I hope you have exciting sessions ahead of this. Have a great event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Venkat Sitaram, for that in-depth presentation and information on the road ahead in this direction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a short break here.